The next request comes from Matthew, and we're to look at the third movie from the Swan Princess series, The Mystery of the Enchanted Treasure.
Our bravery has brought us. Now there is nothing that can foil the fun of Festival Day.
Well, the real mystery is how they keep these films going, but never mind that. What exactly are we dealing with? According to Wikipedia, Swan Princess 3 is made by the same crew behind Escape from Castle Mountain, of course, and this is going to be the last installment to use 2D animation, so this is kind of a swan song for the series. I'd be remiss to ignore work done by Hanho Hyungup at this point. It's a South Korean animation studio that worked alongside major studios like Disney and Warner Brothers, and it has been a part of the first 3 Swan Princess films. So could Nest Entertainment do better with their story this time? Let's find out as we solve the mystery of the Enchanted Treasure. Okay, I know this is still Enchanted Treasure because it's the only movie on the second disc. 3 times they used the same opening animation. Except here, they at least add the Roman numeral 3. So in the second movie, we opened with a villain being up to no good. What do we open with this time?
Yeah, I love my new home, love sitting in my favorite spot, down by the Babbling Brook. Yeah.
Riveting. At least it is the same animation quality as before, so at least it won't be too much of an eyesore. Anyway, this bird is being chased with nets and stuff. When he finally thinks of flying away, he gets caught by the big bad of this movie. After that cold open, we cut over to Swan Lake Castle, where everyone is setting up for the festival days. And once again, the songs in this range from decent to otherwise acceptable. Although, some of the attractions they have are questionable. Also, most of the voice actors from the second movie are back here. Except for Derek, now voiced by Brian Neeson. If I ever have to do the CGI films, I don't know how much I'm going to keep track of who voices who. Once the song is over, we move over to the main villain named Zelda? Oh no, Link! Your princess has gone rogue! She helped Rothbart master the forbidden arts when he was banished, and this led to the creation of the orb. She wanted them to become king and queen, but
I'm gonna force Odette to marry me. It cuts you out of the plan.
Those notes belong to me just as much as they belong to you. More! And they will be mine someday. They will be mine!
Get out!
I have a feeling those notes still exist, and you're going to help me get them.
while I think the exposition is a bit awkward, at least we're getting some kind of explanation for her being here. Heck, I just think it's nice they're respecting continuity and remembering that Rothbart existed. Right now, she's trying to recover her notes that Rothbart took from her, and they're being kept at Swan Lake Castle. So she sends out the bird, who we learn is called Whizzer. He's supposedly a Yaki bird, even though he looks absolutely nothing like one. So that means he can imitate voices.
Do mine.
But I don't think...
Do my voice! Do my voice!
Do it again, do it again! Do it again, do it again! Oh, he's good. And unlike Clavius, she is actually competent. She even uses magic to make sure Whizzer doesn't just fly off. So even if this movie is using the same premise as the first sequel, I think it's still an improvement. Maybe things are looking up.
Look! You mean those little bumps?
Like, how easy is it to turn this into a YouTube poop gag?
Look! You mean those little fingers?
But yeah, Jean Bob wants to win the obstacle course, because doing so makes him prince for a day. I guess this is a character bit that will stick with him in the future. Then we see how Whizzer tries to get information on those lost notes.
You know anything about Rothbart's notes being hidden in the castle?
Okay, that's it. Every day in
every way. I just get better and better.
Okay, I'll let you have that. Whizzer then imitates Bromley's voice to ask for the notes. Rogers overhears and reports this to Derek.
You see, after Clavius and the orb were destroyed, Rogers and I found this underground chamber. There were all sorts of things Rothbart left behind, including his formula for the forbidden arts. We destroyed everything, of course, except Rothbart's notes. I really think that someday we can use their power for good.
Okay, because the forbidden arts was only sought after by corrupt people, maybe the power itself doesn't make people evil. Remember, we saw Bridget briefly use it to turn Odette into a swan, and there were no side effects from tapping into the forbidden arts. But Odette still thinks that tampering with those powers is a bad idea, and this is the main conflict between her and Derek.
You're right, Odette. I'll destroy them right away.
Rogers and I are the only ones who know where they are.
But there's a rumor.
Look, even if someone did find them, they'd never figure them out without my help.
Apologize, apologize, apologize.
Couldn't be more blunt about what he should do, but yeah. I guess this time it's all about the trust between those two. Otherwise, Whizzer tries to leave with the information about the notes, but then Puffin tries catching him in a funny chase sequence. Why are these gators still here? Whizzer finally escapes and reports back to Zelda. She then plans to infiltrate the castle by disguising herself. And she's still forcing Whizzer to help because, well, she's evil.
Promise to set me free.
How can I be a maiden in distress without anyone to distress me?
We made a deal.
I am altering the deal. Pray I don't alter it any further.
Back over to Derek, Rogers tells him to apologize to Odette.
Why do I always have to be the one to apologize?
Because you're an idiot who neglects his wife. Also, Bromley is kinda around, but he's no longer a key character in this series. He's now just there to do funny antics because of his laziness. But at least he does something funny by keeping score as Derek argues with Rogers.
You're my counselor. You're supposed to counsel me.
Well, I'm supposed to support you.
That's my point.
He got you on that one. And yet, I leave in triumph. Please, Derek, reconsider!
Serves you right. Derek then sings a song about, why should I apologize for doing everything around here? Which also includes stock footage from the first movie.
I need the one I love to keep my hope bright, my head right, my heart fighting on.
He's clearly well-meaning and still in love with Odette, but he still has to apologize. Meanwhile, Odette is signing people up for a talent show. Uberta is participating, and at least she's more restrained than in the last movie. Still not very funny, though.
How silly of me to think that you could still do the tango.
Well, I didn't say I couldn't do it.
You must accept the truth. Your muscles have become weak and flabby. You've the timing of a busted clock.
Okay, I'll let her have this one. Anyway, Zelda shows and tells Whizzer to attack her. She gets saved by Rogers, who now seems to have the hots for her. And she feeds him a fake story about her being from an abusive kingdom. This gets her access to the castle in the form of a one-night stay. This is a pretty smart and underhanded way to sneak in. But because she doesn't hide her impatience getting what she wants, Rogers should have sensed that something was up. Derek finally apologizes to Odette, and he promises to destroy the notes after the festival. I mean, she wants the notes destroyed immediately, but better late than never. That evening, Zelda sneaks around the castle with Whizzer and finds the hidden room holding the notes. Rogers is none the wiser, and when he learns that Zelda is no longer here, it leads to the weirdest song I've seen yet.
She's gone, and with her the sun, the moon, and stars have vanished from sight. There'll never again be a sunrise for me, because she was my light.
I'm not sure how to feel about this. Rogers sounds good, but I don't know if it's funny or semi-enjoyable. Yeah, let's just move on. Since Uberta really wants to win the talent show, she forcibly takes Rogers with her to her castle. Zelda unlocks the chest to get the notes, but a piece of the final page, the one for destruction, is missing. Wizard then reveals what he overheard before, that Derek has the missing piece. So his boss responds by writing an angry letter.
Dear Prince Derek, I have kidnapped your sweet Odette. Period! If you want to see her alive again, come on! Then meet me at the mouth of the Western River with the missing section of Rothbart's notes! Exclamation, exclamation, exclamation!
And while Wizard delivers the letter, Zelda uses her magic wand to cast a seeking spell on Odette. She's been helping Jean-Bob practice for the race, and he's gonna need all the help he can get.
Don't you think that bine's a little frazzled?
Loser! You're a loser!
Who's the biggest butt monkey so far? Bromley or Jean-Bob? My money's on the frog. Then they all get chased by the seeking spell. It's kind of a janky sequence, but it leads to Odette and Jean-Bob getting captured.
I am Zelda, accordion slave.
I see someone didn't overlay these two properly. Now Zelda expects Derek to hand over the remaining notes in exchange for his wife, because as we all know, he'll do anything for her, except do things on time, since he's a procrastinating doofus. Wizard has to deliver that ransom note to him, but has to overcomplicate things by sneaking into the castle through the kitchen.
Next, we pluck the duck. Add a touch of basil, a pinch of oregano.
Wizard must have some incredible regenerative properties if he can grow his feathers back. Also, both he and the chef are played by the same actor, Paul Masonson. I'm also not sure why Wizard can't just warn Derek about what Zelda is up to and switch sides. He can't fly away, but Zelda doesn't know what he's up to once he's off, and it can save a lot of time before the plot can get moving again.
Oh, there's nowhere to hide.
Because when you wake up, you've got some explaining to do.
In the meantime, Zelda starts recreating the forbidden arts, and she's singing about what she'll do when she gets the power.
There ain't nothing but bad days ahead. Ain't nothing but bad days ahead.
This one has a bit of a gospel vibe, and also, why are these villain songs in the sequels so boppin' good? That's twice in a row now where the villain outclasses Rothbart's song by being, well, really enjoyable. Of course, she doesn't seem to realize that Jean-Bob freed Odette, and the princess actually manages to take some of the notes with her. Until she gets caught red-handed. So what will Zelda do to her? It's always a swan. Why not another animal that can't escape easily? The second movie at least had an excuse, because Odette needed an animal form to make a getaway. So why is the villain doing this? I thought you were smarter than this, Zelda. But the big bad still has seeking magic, so Odette's escape attempt is short-lived. Now she's trapped behind a deadly barrier. Back over to Uberta's kingdom. Did someone leave a piece of fabric or something on the animation cells? Seriously, what is that? Anyway, Rogers continues to be down in the dumps, until Derek shows up with the ransom note from Zelda.
I'm so sorry.
It's not your fault. If I hadn't kept Rothbart's notes, none of this would have happened.
She wants some sort of ransom, no doubt.
Holy crap! Derek and Rogers admit to being wrong, while Uberta said something sensible? They're taking this rather seriously! So let's follow that up with the animals trying to get Wizard to spill the beans on Zelda with a song about the power of friendship.
Trust the wing of friendship. Believe us when we say you'll feel marvelous the moment you decide to do what's right and proper. You'll be free again, 'cause there's no fear when you're on the right side.
So once the song ends, we get another animation goof. This time, it's a perspective-based error. Spade looks fine, but Puffin and Whizzer appear to be standing against the floor. Whizzer tells the animals what we already know, so off they go to save the day. Meanwhile, Zelda disguises herself as Odette and takes the missing piece from Derek.
You keep falling for that fake Odette trick, don't you, big guy?
I mean, he means well, but he's still the biggest dunce of them all. So now she can recreate the last spell. Derek manages to find Odette, and now he has to find a way to free her. They create an opening from the barrier by slamming something into it. Now for the final showdown as they face off against Zelda, who has the full power of the forbidden arts. At least most of them are trying to fight back. Of course, Zelda's seeker spell is now able to destroy people on contact, so she sends one out to Odette. Derek tries to intercept, but I guess it can redirect itself if something's in the way. I think? To stop the spell, the wand must be broken, which is easier said than done. At least Puffin tries to help Odette avoid the fireball, which can somehow break the fabric of reality.
Space is warped and time is bendable.
We then get a pretty good moment where Whizzer turns against Zelda, though how he does it raises a lot of questions. He mimics the voice of Rothbart.
Amazing, isn't it? Thank you for recovering the forbidden arts. But now, you're through.
I don't know how Whizzer could do this. We already established that he can only imitate sounds and people that he's been around, and I don't think he did that with Rothbart, but whatever. This ploy gives Derek the chance to close in on Zelda, and he manages to break the wand just as the fireball reaches his wife. He even knocks the big bad accidentally into her own death cage. So, she's dead, but what about Odette? We cut away before seeing what happened to her.
Fireball. She couldn't get away.
Oh damn. They actually let her die? I didn't expect that. I thought we'd just have a fake out since we did cut away, but no, she's dead. And Derek is rightfully upset, because if he had destroyed the notes long ago, this wouldn't have happened. The moment is appropriately sad. Now, as he goes to destroy the forbidden arts once and for all, Odette's image appears from the flames. And because he prayed for something good to happen, that's enough to bring her back to life.
Oh, Derek.
Oh, Odette. I'm so sorry.
You know what? Fine, let them have this. As we wind down, we get some scenes from the festival, like Jean-Bob going up against last year's racing champion. And just so we can get this out of the way, before the soft reboot, Jean-Bob wins and becomes Prince for a day. Oh, and Uberta and Rogers win the talent show. All's well that ends well. And the ending song is a nicer sounding version of Derek's earlier song.
Because I love her and need her like Earth needs the sun.
So, I think this movie is definitely an improvement over the second movie, but it's still not on par with the first one. It still relies on Disney-like humor, like the animal shenanigans and a lot of music sequences that don't fit with the overall story. The animation quality is slightly worse than before, though I do appreciate Uberta being less wacky. Derek's arc was also fine, and Zelda was a more watchable villain than Clavius. So, overall, I say this movie is just watchable with some enjoyable aspects. This was probably a relatively high note for Nest Entertainment to lay this series to rest, but as history tells us, this franchise is only taking a break before coming back in 3D. I actually can't wait to review those newer releases, because from what I'm seeing, things only escalate from there. Next time, we take a look at a film about a rather infamous dog comic character. I'll see you then.
I need the one I love to keep my hope bright, my head right, my heart